Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eddie with DIY Basics. Today I want to go over a electrical repair that is very simple to do. Probably one of the most simple things you can do around the house is change out an outlet. And I just want to explain how you can do that pretty simply. There's going to be like maybe two different configurations when you're dealing with outlets. You're going to open up the box. You're either going to see one set of wires, which is going to be, you know, your hot, your neutral, and your ground. Or you might have two sets of wires, because if the outlet is at the end of the run, then you should only have one set of wires. But if the outlet is in the middle of a run, then you're going to have a feed coming in to feed this and a feed going out to feed the other outlets in that same run. So I just want to talk about the two different configurations you might see and how you handle them, how the pros do it, and how you might actually see it also being done. So all right, guys, so let's get into the first configuration you might see. As always, make sure the power is off and make sure you hire an electrician if you're not comfortable working around electricity. So in this scenario, let's just assume that this outlet is at the end of the run. It's defective. You guys want to change it out. So you should expect to see three wires when you open up the box. It's going to be a hot, a neutral, and a ground. And basically the hot gets attached to the gold terminal. All right. The neutral gets attached to the silver terminal, and the ground gets attached to the ground terminal there. All right, pretty straightforward. All right, guys, in this scenario, as you can see, you'll open up the box and you'll have two sets of wires coming in. So you're gonna have two black, two white, and two either bare wires or a green jacketed wire as we have here. So basically what you wanna do in this scenario is you just want to keep everything the same. If the easiest way to do it, if you don't understand too much, is just match everything up, right? Remove your black and your white from one terminal, put those on the new outlet, then remove the other two, put those on the outlet, put everything back, and you should be good, even without having too much of an understanding. But it's important to understand that, as I've mentioned in my other videos, you never want to put more than one wire on a terminal. So in this case, you can see we have enough terminals for our two sets of wires when it comes to the hot and the neutral, so we can use all four, although the pros don't like to use that method, and I'll explain that here in a minute. All right, guys, so in this case we have terminals for the two sets of wires, the hots and the neutrals, but we only have one terminal for the ground. And as I've mentioned in the past, you only want to use one wire per terminal. So in this case, we have two grounds coming in. What we do is we create a pigtail, and then we just branch off of that, and we're connecting only one wire to the terminal, but we're connected up here where all the grounds is together. Okay, that handles that situation there. One thing I want to talk about is you want to pay attention in a scenario like this where they're using all the terminals. I don't know if you can see here close up, but these outlets have tabs. When those tabs are on there, that means that both of these are energized when you have power to this outlet. In other words, they are as one. So that's why you can pretty much put a wire here and put a wire here, and it's the power is traveling from one terminal to the other. But if you see this removed and you see two sets of wires, that could indicate that one set of wires is running power to a location and another set of wires is being controlled by a switch or something like that. So you want to pay attention to that. And that's the reason why I mentioned most pros don't like to do it this way. It's because it eliminates that confusion. If you see two sets of wires, a lot of times if it's done by a homeowner, it's just easier to do it. It makes it easy. You don't have to create a pigtail. But it also can be a problem for someone going in the box that doesn't have a lot of experience and doesn't look to make sure that it was wired that way, because the tab was broken off and these are independent of each other. So in this scenario, the tab is on. That means that these are not independent. You can basically put the wires, you can use these terminals as an extension of the wires. It almost creates the same as if you were pigtailing the two wires together, because these are together. What the pros like to do is they like to create a pigtail like you see here with the ground, and then they run the leg to just one of the terminals. and then it continues to the other boxes from the pigtail. This way, both terminals are energized, and there's no confusion that they're working as one. So when you open up the box, if you see a bunch of wires pigtailed and only one going to the terminals, there's a good chance that that was done by a professional. If you see multiple wires like this and the tabs are still attached, then it probably was done by someone with less experience, and although it works, it's not really the method that the pros like to use for the reasons that I just explained. So this is the third example I wanted to show you. As you can see, you have your two sets of wires coming into the box, but your hots, your neutrals, and your grounds are pigtailed, and then we're just using the other end of the pigtail for one terminal. See, only one going to the hot, only one going to the neutral, one going to the ground, and then these that are pigtail are moving on to the other boxes in the same run. All right. Hope that was simple to understand, and I hope it helps. Also, one thing you would like to do is once you decide what terminal you're going to use, you want to just screw those other free terminals all the way in so they don't rub up against anything. If you're using a metal box or something like that, you don't want to create a short by these actually sticking out too far. A lot of guys also wrap the entire outlet with tape to create even more of an insulation. So that's another option you have. Well, most of the time, as long as everything's tightened down, there's usually enough room in the box to prevent anything like that from happening. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.